So what I'd like to do now is actually unleash some hard questions here. So we have a panel discussion coming here, and we have 3 faculty members. Dr. Yoon Park, if you can come to stage, Dr. KiChan Kim, and Dr. Hee-Beom Lee. Can you come to the table right there? And I have prepared some 3 questions, but we'll try to open it up for more questions as well. While they're preparing, I would like Dr. Georgia Boer and Paul to kind of raise your hand and wave for everybody. They're also part of KMI. Can we give them a big round of applause? Okay. All right. As Tammy and her team leaves here, the Korean Management Institute is a platform that connects private, public, media in a very safe, honest, transparent environment in which we can be exchanging ideas and asking the difficult questions, asking the questions that we don't have to take different angles to and just address in a very safe academic environment. And that's why academic institutions do exist for that purpose, and as well as educating. So with that, there are some questions I want to ask. I want to ask about Korean management. I want to ask about the state of Korean management. And I'm going to do it, usually when you ask questions, you start with some easy ones first. So I'm going to start with an easy one for all 3 panelists, right? And then as we progress, it gets more difficult. So question number 1, and this is mainly for my students, but also for the other people attending here, right? South Korean companies have moved from followers to leaders in the global marketplace. And we've seen this, attested to this from the Ambassador An when he put out his phone and saying, I have a Samsung. Please give us your top 3 organizational characteristics that you think attribute to this rapid rise. And let's start with Dr. Park.
Well, is it working?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I like to be blunt. The South Korean companies are expert in imitation and copying, in the good sense. They had, I think, a good school teacher for them to learn. Probably this statement may not be very popular in Korea, but I think I observed with my own eyes that how much Korean chaebols in their early stage learned, stole, imitated Japanese management practices, Japanese technologies, etc. And luckily, Japan was right there in our next door neighbor. And first generation business people in Korea, the founders of today's chaebol, mostly they were educated in Japan. You know, the Samsung founder, he got a bachelor's degree at Waseda University, as well as many other, LG Group, the Hyosung, etc. And they are fluent in Japanese. So I think, you know, it is not politically favored answer in Korea that, you know, because Japan is competition and they colonized Korea for almost 40 years. But I think real truth, naked truth is that Korean companies were able to imitate a lot of Japanese management practice at the beginning. That's first. Second reason is, again, Korea was very opportunistic. We were able to benefit from huge U.S. market, okay, without reciprocating. In other words, U.S. export to Korea is shamelessly prohibited through various control measures, either explicit and implicit. But we exploited a very open U.S. market. And I think the U.S. government knew, they are not fool. They knew fully well that Korean companies and Korean exporters took advantage of U.S. market without reciprocal move on part of the Korea. Why? I think probably U.S. thought that this is a small price to pay for the role that Korea plays as a front line in this Cold War period. Okay? And therefore, it is in the national interest of U.S. to have very strong Korea with a strong economy. And therefore, this asymmetry, imbalance, that Korean companies exploiting U.S. export market while closing their Korean market. That is, I think, the second reason. I think these two are most important.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Hee-Beom Lee, what do you think are the characteristics that allowed Korean companies to be leaders?
Very tough question, I think. Before answering the questions, one of Korean business leader, former chairman of POSCO, mentioned that the Korean economy as a hip economy, as a kind of hip economy. When we go to the mountain, the followers always went to the mountain watching the hip of the leader, But all of a sudden, the followers don't worry about where we are going and where we are heading, but just looking at the hip of the leader. But all of a sudden, there is a hip disappeared. So we become the leader of all industries. As a chairman of POSCO, he became the leader of the world steel industries. What sector he should invest, what he should focus in the next generations, he should decide. And the other example, so the chairman of Samsung Group, Lee Gun-hee, mentioned that the three reasons why Koreans are good at precision industries like semiconductor and the electronics and the machine industries. The three basic reasons why Koreans are very good at these kind of sophisticated industries. Chairman Lee Gun-hee mentioned that the three reasons. One is big families at home. We in Korea is usually traditionally live in big families with the grandparents, parents, and children and grandchildren, all living in one house tradition. Now it is changing, but which means hierarchical systems obeyable to the boss. Even at home or in the office, we are very good at obey to the elders, obey to the hierarchies, to the higher persons, or is kind of. And the second is a clean environment. When we go to the rooms, we always take off shoes, which means a clean environment. And also the third one is using the chopsticks. Unlike China and Japan and China using bamboo chopsticks, but Koreans using steel chopsticks, which is more difficult to handle, to use bamboo chopsticks. So which means with the fingers, we can move tank with the fingers, with the chopsticks. So very efficient using fingers, which means very good at fingers is three good reasons why Koreans are very good in precision industries. But nowadays, these favorable environment has gone, and now we are moving into the leading industries from the following situations. So if I mention the three factors key factors in the leading industries is education, is human beings, creative environments for the human beings, members of the organizations, which is the education is creative environment, and the education is very much important. Second one is scientific environment, research and development. So invest more fund in the research and development for the next generations. And third one is flexible organizational structures from the very rigid and strong organizational structures to the very flexible organizational structure.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. KiChan Kim?
Yeah, for me, I'd like to more focus on SME. Even in SME, the main strategy is changing from following strategy to the leading strategy. So three main things should be changed. The first maybe company need to have the technical competitiveness, not cost competitiveness, which requires R&D investment, because the Korea is the sandwich economy between low cost of China and the high quality, high technology of Japan. So in order to escape, we need to invest more for the R&D. The second is the company need to make effort to commercialize develop the technology in overseas market. As you know, the Korea is under the R&D paradox, which means if we are interested in R&D and the development, but the commercialization is neglected. So we need to more focus on commercialization with the developed technology in the R&D investment. Third one is the leader must invest in sustainable future, like sing a song and disappearing on stage. There are many companies that succeeded in only one product and disappear from market. So entrepreneurship is needed. The key is the proactive investment. I have a very interesting company that I know very well. So company invested in people, then the machine is not broken. So I thought the man is more important than machine, cost, technology. So far, the Korean company has restructured people to save money. So the company is good at I have in Korea the last year, Korean government SMBA and KBS have selected the most honorable SME in Korea. So then this company is selected as one of the most honorable SME. So this company is very good at rewarding its employee. The beginning salary of college educate is as high as that of large corporation, which increase employee engagement and productivity. And the sales went up and the company got better. So we wanted to establish, we wanted to boost this kind of small and medium company in Korea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let me increase the intensity here, and this is a very straightforward, but it's a matter of fact. And I would like your honest and candid answer here. So let me set the stage here. Anti-globalization movement gained widespread media attention after protests against the World Trade Organization, the WTO, in Seattle in late November and early December of 1999. So it's been a while. Yet, Activists and scholars debate whether it constitutes a single social movement or represents a collection of allied groups, more of like a movement of movements, where everybody's coming together under this umbrella of anti-globalization. Today, and even recently, we are witnessing its increase in media referencing and usage as a platform to engage voters. Yet, as scholars, executives, and educators, how do we explain this term to our students? Even though we eschew in our textbooks that globalization is good, right? It's good for development. It's good for human betterment. Yet the term itself is gaining more movement, more fans to it. What do we tell our young people, our young students that are reading the textbooks but seeing what's happening in the media and the streets? So let's start with you, Dr. Hee-Beom Lee, and then we'll go to Dr. Park. What's your reaction to this?
Yeah, you know, the riot in Seattle, the anti-WTO, anti-free trade riot, I think it's just the first sign. If it stopped right there, probably just an unfortunate incident. But, you know, the last year, we see the Brexit, as well as the election of the Donald Trump. Perhaps, you know, the last 70 years of post-war globalism, you know, led by IMF, World Bank, GATT, and WTO, this kind of globalism movement gradually encountered some kind of fatigue of globalism. Because, you know, this year there will be major elections in Europe, France, Netherlands, in Italy, etc. Who knows? Probably this Trump movement may continue even this year. The last year's Brexit and Trumpism may be, you know, replicated in this year's movement. There may be certain fatigue globally, particularly not among intellectuals, not among scholars at the academic campus, but down on the street, you know, in some the Wisconsin, and other areas in Korea, as well as some of the villages in Britain, etc. There may be some kind of anti-globalism movement. So I think it is up to us, the academics, to explain clearly to our students and to the general public that globalism is not fashion. It has a real benefit. In fact, today's Korea is the favorite example that, you know, globalism can push the country, poverty-stricken country, into the first world status. I mean, Korea is a great example. So it is up to us, I think, the academia, to fight against this globalism fatigue.
Thank you. Dr. Hee-Beom Lee?
Yeah. Recent globalization brought a widening gap among the countries. Many people say it is bipolarization between the haves and not haves, between the SMEs and big companies, and between the advanced countries and the LDCs, and between the regionalism and the multilateralism. So we are witnessing the widening gap between the two sides, and we call it bipolarizations. Bipolarization becomes not only the bipolarization effect is happening not only in Korea but also in the world, not only in the United States but also in all countries in the world. So especially in the business side, widening gap between the rich and the poor, and big companies and the SMEs. So that's why in Korea, we among the politicians, so-called economic democratization is one of the heated issue, and which also as I mentioned in my text, the welfare and growth is also become the heated issue. So to solve this issue, the government policymakers should more focus on the strengthening of SME powers by reducing the power of big conglomerates and haves and riches.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. KiChan Kim.
Yeah, actually, this is a very interesting question, but it's harder to answer the right way. For your information, I am the globalization support and the market mechanism support. But in order to answer, I need to support more anti-globalization now. So then, do you know how old is the Earth? The Earth. My colleague Paul, do you know how old is the Earth? How old?
A little over 4 billion years.
Okay, as far as I know, the Earth history is 4.6 billion years. Is it right? So then it could exist because there was a balance of a centripetal force and the centrifugal force. So in this way, there are always action and reaction in the world. So Newton's law of motion also has a law of action and reaction. So as such, the market needs a balance of market force and the forces to respond to market failure. So in that respect, only globalization cannot be said to be good. So a small country is dominated by the huge power or the big country. A poor country became poorer, and the poorer person became poorer. So in that respect, globalization and the anti-globalization are also balanced. So the balance always matters.
Thank you. The last question, and the most, I think, difficult question here, and I'm asking you to innovate and improvise here. And here it goes. Korean management, which is the title of our conference here and our institute. Korean management is a fairly new term. We know of Japanese management, yet we really don't know a lot about Korean management defined. How would you, personally, define Korean management, and specifically to organizations that want to copy the successes of the many Korean firms? In your own words, if you would have to explain what is Korean management, how would you explain it? Dr. Park?
I think the Korean management is characterized by the historical fact, which is Korea started as a dirt poor third world country. And so we didn't have modern management. Okay? But the founders of today's Korean enterprises, so-called chaebols, they were originally educated mostly in Japan. Founder of Samsung, he attended Waseda University. Same is true with the chairman of POSCO that Dr. Hee-Beom mentions. He's also Waseda University graduate. I remember that when I was the advisor to the Samsung chairman, the POSCO chairman used to visit with the Samsung chairman, and they were not just a businessman to businessman meeting. It's a very friendly kind of meeting. And sometimes even they discuss something in Japanese. Later, I discovered that, their close relationship originated from the Waseda University. The Sanbe Hube, the Samsung chairman first graduated from Waseda and then chairman of postcode, etc. Many Korean captains of industry in the early days, their learning, education, formal education was from Japanese colleges, and also their management training was from Japanese companies, etc. But then, gradually, when I think Koreans are very good in adjustment, they discovered that in order to be really successful, you should jump over the Japanese companies, Japanese management. Then where do you get the role model? From US. So second and third generation Korean industrial leaders, they got trained in US. I mean, Samsung founders, B.C. Lee, who, even though he was educated in Waseda, his son, current chairman, K.H. Lee, attended our MBA program. And the third generation, J. Lee, he also spent 2 years as a visiting scholar at our business school, in our international business department. And then he moved on to Harvard Business School. So second, third generation, they preferred training ground in the US, not just to learn English or to learn American lifestyle. No, the more serious purpose is, in order to truly compete with the Japanese companies, you have to jump over them. Jump over them means even go to even more modernized management lessons, etc. And where do you get it? From General Electric, IBM's, General Food, etc. That's why the second, third generation children, they came. Not just Samsung. A lot of Hyundai and LG family, the children got educated in our business school, in the MBAs. In fact, there's, I think, I don't know how true it is, Dr. Lee is also chairman of our GW Korean Alumni Association, huge, largest, the GW Alumni Association outside the U.S. But there's a joke among young Koreans that in order to get good job, you better get the MBA from GW, because a lot of GW MBAs are captains or chieftains of major Korean chaebol. So I think if you want to characterize Korean management, I would say it is to be a fast follower, not first mover, but fast followers. Because still, I think, in my opinion, Korean management feel that they can learn more from advanced management style, first from Korea, from Japan, and then from US. And so actually, Samsung has a major research center in Silicon Valley, and they are hiring like mad, all these Koreans and Korean Americans trained in the US and trained then in major US corporations. So that shows that they are continuing that trend, but not following Japanese company model, because Korean companies already, they think that they are better or strong competitor with the Japanese company, so they are learning from US.
Thank you. Dr. Hee-Beom Lee?
Yeah, it's right, as Professor Park mentioned, and also as President Depp mentioned, 300 Korean students are now studying at George Washington University currently. And in Korea, more than 1,500 GW alumni members are working in every sectors, in financial sectors, in IT sectors, in legal sectors. And also our founding father, as Ambassador An mentioned, the founding the president, like George Washington in the United States, Seungman Lee, our founding president, was a graduate of George Washington University, and our recent president, Lee Myung-bak, is also the honorary doctorate degree holder at George Washington University. In the business side, the founder of Hyundai Group, Chairman Jung Ju-young, late Chairman Jung Ju-young, and also the founding the father of Daewoo Group, and also Chairman of Samsung Group, Lee Geun-hee, are all the alumni members of George Washington University. So in Korea, so GW's alumni members are very active in all sectors of business, politics, and even in sports in Korean society. If I say response to the Korean way of management, until recently, I can say the three factors. One is human factors. Korean way of management was based on the focus on Korean human beings' education, especially education-oriented. As I mentioned, 80% of high school graduates are going to universities, and 36% of university students are majoring in engineering, so which is much higher numbers than in the United States and other countries. And the second factor is entrepreneurship. As I mentioned in my presentation, founding father of Hyundai, Jung Ju-young, received the order of shipbuildings before he built the shipyard with just the Korean banknote. In our banknote, there is a turtle ships. So with the turtle ships, he showed the Greek ship owners, and then he received the order even before he built the shipyard. Was the basis of entrepreneurship. And thirdly, the fine and cross cooperation among government, business, and also academia, tripartite cooperation among academia, government, and also entrepreneurs so far. But as I mentioned, we are facing challenges. The bipolarization between SMEs and the big conglomerates, and low birth rate with high life expectancies, and also low growth potential is challenges for the Korean further economy. So we have to overcome these challenges to have continued growth.
Thank you. And Dr. KiChan Kim?
Yeah, 20 years ago, when I was in Boston, the many professors of business school, Harvard Business School or at MIT Business School, started to research about the Japanese management. So eventually, Japanese management at that time contributed to improve quality management a lot. So nowadays, whenever I am visiting abroad, for example, the Singapore University or another university, wanted to open Korean management, or Samsung management, or Hyundai management. So then I found in terms of, as long as this is related with innovative management or disruptive management, the Korean management can contribute for management science. So then nowadays you can find many articles in United States, such as Samsung Way in Harvard Business Review or something. So the purpose of science is to scientifically explain the predict and solve problems. If there is a good case, scientists are obliged to scientifically develop the case through analysis. As I mentioned, 20 years ago, the management success case of Japan was analyzed by MIT professors in the United States. And the quality management study was developed. Likewise, if we develop the case of Korea in the last 60 years, I think it will contribute to development of innovation management. So the poorest country in over 60 years has brought the economy up with the entrepreneurship. So then the Korean management, this kind of experience can help many countries around the world. So last year when I visited the United Nations declared the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. So number one agenda of SDG is no poverty. So how to solve no poverty problem in the world? So Korean management is the best way to support the no poverty problem. So then if you can create more scientific knowledge with the Korean experience, I think that the Korean management can do more job, not only for business, but also for poor country or developing country. So then the KMI is just the starting point, starting the place. So then if you can get more interest, more support, then this is, the Washington is the hub of Korean management for Argentina, for Egypt, Indonesia, because that country asked me to give a teach about Korean management. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Dr. KiChan, can you please stand up?
Okay.
Yes. Dr. KiChan Kim 3 years ago approached Dr. Paul Spheres and I with an idea. And the vision was to create a Korean Management Institute at George Washington University. He was a fortune teller, a foreteller of what can happen in the world. And he did it with his mind, but also with his heart and many, many hours of work on it. So on behalf of George Washington University, on behalf of all the faculty here of KMI and the students, let's give him a big round of applause. Dr. Park, can you please stand up? As you all can see, I am not Korean, even though I act and think and have the passion of a Korean, I hope. So when I took Dr. KiChan Kim's idea, the first person I went to talk to about this vision was Dr. Park. I thought it would be a very long, lengthy meeting explaining the rationale behind them. Within 5 minutes, we had the vision, the platform, the strategy to move forward. He has been the biggest champion of KMI at GW and the School of Business because of his history, knowledge, and wisdom and friendship. Let's give him a big round of applause, everybody. And finally, Dr. Hee-Beom Lee, can you please stand up? I visited Korea in December. A person that extremely busy with the Olympics coming up, there was an alumni event happening, to come visit me twice at the hotel, to talk to me about the importance of KMI, the importance of GW, right, and to spend time with me, and even more, to come pick me in the evening to go to an event with his car, showed dedication, kindness, and also finally vision for KMI. Let's stand up and let's give him all a big round of applause, everybody.